Okay. Oh, goodness. I'm sitting here and it's September 6th, 2012. And knowing that I'm not the smartest post in the fence line, I thought I might ask some of you folks out there to maybe help me out to understand how this country's going. As I hear the pain and suffering of the folks, you know, the everyday people, and myself also. I'm part of the folks, you know. I was watching this thing on the television about this presidential election, you know, and I listened to some of them folks speak, you know, and this is what I'm trying to understand. Maybe one of you folks out there can help me here, because I'm not educated, and dang, if I was educated, I'd probably have some kind of school records you could check on and find out what my thesis was about. You know what I mean? You know that thing that how you feel and how you think about something, I guess. I don't know what your prognosis is of, I don't know. Anyway, I hear a lot about the strive as the folks are suffering out here. I live in this little small town north of Spokane, Washington. It's called Deer Park. Pretty little place. I shouldn't say that because you probably want to move here. Then it'll take a long time to get downtown, you know what I mean? But anyway, there's a lot of folks moving here. It's not too bad. Except for in the last 3 or 4 years, golly gee whiz, there's a lot of empty buildings and storefronts and so forth, and people not working, and the businesses that are here are barely making it, from what I understand. And I know that this President Obama, Barack Obama, says he's all for the middle class and the little people, you know, the peasants, the sheep, you know. Watch out, you might get clipped here, you know what I mean? Anyway, I've got some medical issues, and I was at this physical therapy place here in Deer Park. It's a great little physical therapy place, and the people are just as kind as can be, and they try and do everything they can to help you. And I was mentioning, I said, this is really a nice place you got here, and he was telling me that before he even broke a blade of grass on his land there, he had to put up $50,000 for building permits and fees and all that kind of stuff. And so I said, wow, that's an awful lot of money, you know, you haven't even got a building, you haven't even got your business going, and the government wants $50,000. He said, well, that's not the bad thing. The bad thing is they charged me a $150 fee on every parking space in my place. Well, I had another opportunity to go back to that physical therapist place, and he had a little more space onto his place, you know, to help the people that are injured, you know. And I was telling him how nice that was and so forth, and I said, wow, you got some more parking space. That's another $150 a space, huh? And he goes, nope, they raised it to $250 fee on every parking space. And I'm thinking, I've heard these people on that television set talk about we all get together, the government and the people. Well, first of all, the government is the people. The people own the government. The government doesn't own the people, but golly gee whiz, that's the way some of those folks were talking, that, you know, it's like, you didn't build that. That President Obama said that. I got to thinking about that. I'm kind of old and I understand a little bit about people building a business, working hard and all that, and the government takes a big share of that business, whether you like it or not. And then on top of that, I guess after the first of the year, let's say you're a farmer or a rancher, and they got all these new rules that kids can't do any chores, you know, so who's going to be able to take over that farm or ranch? Well, I guess when you die, or you pass away, or you pass on, the government gets 55% of that. So this thing of you didn't build that, I understand what President Obama, Barack Obama, was saying about that. Because come soon, if you pass away, you're not going to feel so bad when they take it from you. Well, they might not take it from you. They might have some corporate buddy or somebody that wants that ranch, and golly gee whiz, you know, the government owns 55% of that because the kids, you know, they're too ignorant to run the ranch because the law says that the kids can't do chores anymore, so they don't know how to run the ranch. So they wind up having to sell it because they had to move in town because they don't know anything about ranching or farming. So the government winds up getting it. And golly gee whiz, what do you think? One of their good buddies winds up with that ranch. I know some people would say, oh, you're just dreaming, you don't know what you're talking about, and all that kind of stuff. Well, if I don't know what I'm talking about, and you find out that I become missing or dead, then you'll know I was right, because these are the kind of people that, and I say these are the kind of people that are trying to fundamentally change this country. Oh, we don't want to go back, we want to go forward. Yeah, well, you want to go forward, but you want it to be like the government tells you when to eat, tells you when to get up, tells you that you got to have this health care or you're going to get taxed or fined or whatever. And then it tells you what kind of health care you're going to get. And then not only on top of that, you got to get up and all this, and you might as well be in prison. Well, folks, I think you're going to be in prison. You're going to feel like I think you might feel like as an indentured slave. Oh yeah, an indentured slave, and oh, everybody's going to say, "Boy, you're a racist." And I'm thinking, well, folks, if you look back at the history of this country, the first indentured slaves weren't black; they were white. And there's a long list of them. But see, you're not going to feel that indentured slave because they're going to move real slow and real careful. They're smart folks out there that are doing this. And they'll get up there and, hey, believe me. I'm not telling you to believe me. You just check it out on yourself. You look back. Look in the records about indentured slaves. They've got to work. They go over there and buy these young kids or men or whatever and bring them over here, and they got to work 10, 12, 15 years until they pay off how much it costs to buy them. Who's buying you today? I'm just asking you, who do you think is buying you today? They give you a handout, they give you a welfare check, an unemployment check, just enough to keep you alive. For what? What are they keeping you alive for? Because if they really cared about you, they wouldn't make you spend $50,000 just to be able to build something on your own land, a business that would hire employees. These people, I've listened to them, and it's like, my goodness, how can you say that and have these people believe you? And just the other night, They talk about the system's rigged. Well, yeah, it's rigged if you're President Obama and your buddies get 550, 30, 40 million dollars to run a business, and they knew the bean counter stole them. Don't loan them the money. It's not going to work. It'll go bankrupt by September. Well, golly gee whiz, their bean counters are smart bean counters, because it did go bankrupt, and guess what? When the government loans you money, the government gets the money back first. And everybody else, hey, you got to stand in line. But not for Obama's buddies. They switched the rules around there, and all their big-time corporation buddies, the one percenters, the millionaires and the billionaires, they got all their money, and guess what we lost? We lost billions. And, this new slogan, the vice president and the president's got, what is it now? Let me think. I can't. Bin Laden's dead and GM's alive. Well, first off, President Obama and Vice President Biden, you didn't kill Bin Laden. The heroic soldiers did. So, you kind of like, you didn't build your business, somebody else did. Well, I'm going to tell you, you need to use that slogan on, I didn't kill Bin Laden, the soldiers did. Get that one straight. And then you're all happy about this thing with GM. I'm thinking, wait a second now. Did you tell the folks that when you kept GM alive, how many billions of dollars you put into that company, how many shares the American people own of the GM that's only worth about $20 a share? And to get the money back, it's got to be worth $50 a share. You didn't tell them that, did you? Did you tell them that your union buddies, the ones that go up there, it's got your ear? That little fat piggy that makes probably $2 or $3, $4, $500,000, maybe $1 million a year, while the workers only get, whatever union workers make nowadays. He's making crapload 10 times what the union workers are making, and yeah, he's all for the union workers. He wants lots more union workers so his big time salary can go up. Let's say it's $500,000 a year. Why is he getting $500,000 a year when all he does is go up and back and forth to the White House and basically tell Obama what to do? It's like Obama, he's sitting there and he listens to all these people, and he's kind of like I don't want to say a puppet, because, he's supposed to be a good singer and dancer and golfer and basketball player and all that kind of stuff, but president? My goodness. So the people that had their investments, the old retired GM workers and people that, golly gee whiz, they put their money into GM because they believed in it. Well, golly gee whiz, guess what happened? All that money that they had invested in GM, that got wiped off the table, and the money that was supposed to go to them to repay them on their bonds and stock and everything, that got wiped out, and they gave it $40 billion to the union. Why would they do that? Well, because the union boss, he was just up there and he said, we're going to get him elected again. Well, yeah, so you can get more money from the government. That's how it works. Crony capitalism. There's people out here starving. You go to these, there was a guy telling me about how there's this coach down here at the Deer Park High School. There's kids in there with hernias and injuries and stuff, and he goes, the guy was telling me that the coach says, suck it up. I want to win this game. I'm thinking, doesn't the principal and these people around here, I don't know anything about that high school. I'm just relaying what that guy said. How in the world can a teacher do that to a student? You got a hernia, suck it up, play ball. Or hold this ball, and if somebody knocks it out of your hand, you're going to have to run for so many hours or whatever. I'm thinking, my goodness. I mean, yeah, be a tough coach or something, get the kids organized, but you got an injured kid. I mean, my goodness. But, you know, he being a union teacher, I heard there was another teacher down there a few years back. He got, I guess he got busted or arrested or something for molesting some kid or whatever. I don't know if that's true. But something happened because the school had to pay $400,000 because here's this guy, you know, he got caught and whatever. Well, guess what? They gave him a year vacation. They got him back there at the same school. And I hear that the little girls down there they borrow boys' sweaters and coats or whatever to cover them up because all the guy can do is look at their anatomy. You still got a teacher down there, and he ain't going to get fired. You can't fire that guy. He's been convicted of a child molester. There's a lot of them teachers in there that are child molesters or just loser teachers. They don't care. They don't care about the students. They don't have to. Because the unions say you can't fire them no matter what they do. Now, is that right? You want your kids to graduate high school and not be able to read and write and oh, but you probably can get them into college somehow. Of course, if you're some kind of union worker or something, they'll get you into college. And you're just going to be a dummy anyway. So what's the heck? You're not going to get a job. Well, you know what I think it is I don't know if it's, what is that word? Indoctrination. They're indoctrinating the kids to be stupid. They're dumbing down America because when they get to where they want to be, you're going to be the sheep that once you get to the end of that line and they start clipping you, you're not going to know any difference whether it's right or wrong. Because you're going to be, that, and that's their mentality. That's the way they think. You people out there are a lot smarter than this. You just got to pay attention. You got to watch them. And I don't mean follow them around the corner and all that kind of stuff. Watch what they say. It's not only what they say, but watch their mannerisms. Like I've watched that President Barack Obama on the television. And you see him in different places, and he's always got a different way of talking, a different way of mannerisms, and so forth. And I'm thinking, gosh, he's kind of like one of those guys I used to see standing on the street corner around that burn barrel, jaw jacking. Oh, that's right, he was a community organizer back there in Chicago. Yeah, I know a little bit about Chicago from the 30s and 40s, and like that. Yeah, I do. You people out there know I know. And hey, never asked you for a favor and not asking for one now. But here's the thing. This country is just getting beat to death. And you can blame it on everything else. That's another thing with this President Biden or President Barack Obama and this Joe Biden. They blame everybody else for everything that's going wrong. I mean, you confront any of them about anything and they'll double talk 6 ways from Sunday. Now, last night on the television set, they, what was it? Something about Jerusalem and God and, a couple other little odds and ends they took out of their platform. Have you ever been driving down the road and a deer jumps out in front of you and he just stands there and like you're thinking, well, you stupid idiot, run. Well, when you're driving down there, the lights blind them, they don't move too well, okay? They just freeze. Okay, here's the thing. That guy that got up there, they had some kind of amendment to their platform. And here's the thing I'm thinking about. He gets up there and he says, let's take a vote. And you could clearly hear that there was more than 2/3 of the people said, hey, we want the amendment to go down. We don't want God and Jerusalem and all this other stuff in the platform. We want it the way it stands. And he kind of looked like he was standing there in the headlights. If you ask me, I kind of felt sorry for the. I did. I felt sorry for him. I mean, he did look like a deer standing in the headlights. Oh, God. I bet he was talking to somebody, you know. Anyway, he did it again. He took another vote and said it a different way. But see, most of them people are up there talking. They're looking at some, what do they call them? It's like a TV, you know, and it's got all the things that they want you to say. Because they're not talking from the heart. They're talking from what the overseers want them to say. And they showed a picture on this television that they already had decided what the vote was going to be. Wait a second. You take a vote, but you already know the outcome of the vote because you already got it printed on some kind of television set that the guy's reading off of. And then they took one, and then they took two, and then three votes. And I'm hard of hearing, and I could realize that, yeah, they wanted that out of the platform. And nobody else is talking about that, but maybe this will get out there to you folks, and you'll understand that when they're talking to you up there on that microphone, my goodness, who's really saying it? The guy that's telling you all the lies, or is it some guy behind there putting that stuff on that television thing and where they can read what the guy behind him wants to say? Hey, you don't know who that guy is behind there making that come up on that TV. He could be a convicted felon. Or, you know, I don't know, child molester, union worker, or I don't know. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't have nothing against union workers. I know a lot of union workers. But there's a lot of them taking advantage, you know, the teacher unions. You know, if they don't get what they want, they start destroying places, you know. Over here, west of the state here, one union went into another place. I mean, it was bad. It was ugly. They break things and bust stuff and set things on fire. They're dangerous. And you get unions, you get 5 union workers, there's only going to be one working, and the other ones are going to stand there talking about whatever they're doing. Or where's that, what the heck, I'm jumping from one thing to the other because I just get a little excited on how bad the country is. And every time President Obama and Biden and all his little under overseers start talking about investment, they're investing your money. They don't have any money. The only money they have is the money they take from you hardworking folks out there. Geez, man, aren't you paying attention? You're going to wind up like indentured slaves if you aren't already. Or you're going to have your mind so just indoctrinated that it doesn't really matter to you anymore. You want to be an American? You want to live free and enjoy life? Or you want to be some number or painted on your back when everybody's wearing the same? Oh, they don't do that, do they? Not here, but maybe some other place. Do you want to have to? It's illegal to grow your garden on your own property without the government coming in and taxing it? Some places down here in the valley south of where I live, guy was telling me that you can't grow your own garden in your own property. Now wait a second. I understand that they probably can't because since Mr. President Obama's been elected, go down and buy a 10 to 15 cent, 25 cent bag of garden seed. You buy it, you show it to me, and I'll give you the money for it. Oh, wait a second. That's kind of like a government speech. I don't think I'm going to do that because, one, I don't have the money. And two, I don't think you're going to find a 25 cent pack of garden seed because it's more like up above $1.50 or something. I mean, it ain't cheap anymore. And then, if you did grow it illegally, because you're not allowed to grow your own garden on your own property, why? Because they want you to buy vegetables from China and all these other countries. That's a government investment, see? Government investment. They're going to invest in roads and all this. Well, wasn't he up? President Obama was up on the stage laughing at the people. He laughed at you, saying, well, there wasn't all that shovel-ready jobs. Yeah, well, that was stimulus thing. I don't know how many billions it was. Well, they talked about all that, but guess what? Most of that stimulus went to workers in Finland, and all these foreign countries got that stimulus. Obama's buddies, corporations. You think the peasants, the indentured slaves, you think we got any resolve from that? No, you and the American people put all that money in there. It's like, you're doing good, you got to give back. You got to be fair, you got to put your fair share in. Well, goodness gracious. You're starving out here, losing your home, haven't got a job, and whose fault is that? It's your fault, because you haven't done your fair share. And then the government's going to come in. See, my thought is this. Some people think Obama's stupid. Now, I don't know if he went to college or not, but there's no record that I've heard of. And if there is, he won't let anybody see it because, well, gosh, nobody knows because, But here's the thing. I'm asking you because I don't know. Is his vision to fundamentally change America, cripple it down to where you turn into the sheep and indentured slave and you're willing to suck up to take anything because there's nothing left. The government will take from everybody and nobody will have nothing. The government will have everything and all his crony buddies and that woman from way back there up north, what's her name? I can't think of her name. Said she was an Indian. I think the Indians ought to find out if she's an Indian, if you know what I mean. Anyway, and you can find out. You Indians out there? Huh? I'm thinking you ought to, because if she's an Indian, the elders ought to shun her right down the road. Those are the kind of people that, it's a rigged system. It's a rigged system with Obama there because all his buddies and donors and these people give him money to get reelected. They get all the goodies, and the sheep and the indentured slaves like you and I, dang, we get nothing. I'm a disabled vet. And for the last 3.5, 4 years, well, I finally got to see a spinal surgeon spinal doctor after probably 3 years. And then when I asked for the 10,000th time, that's way out of line, but so many times, the PA that's in charge of the orthopedic center there in clinic there in Spokane, Washington said, well, it'll be another 8 months before you can see him. And something happened and they gave me an appointment last month. Wow. Was I surprised. I seen him and he said, well, you got to have some x-rays. And I said, well, when am I going to get those? He said, right now. He says, I want you to go down, get them right now, and come back and see me. I said, in a couple months. And he goes, no, today, as soon as you get done out of the x-ray. So I go down there and then he says, well, we're going to order an MRI on you. I said, well, that'll take a few months. He says, no, I want it done as soon as possible. Okay, well, I talked to them folks down there. They had it for about a month away, and I'm going to have it next week, next Tuesday. But anyway, if you think this affordable health care thing, I'm rambling on and on different subjects, but something will come to me, and it's all based on their way of believing you're the peasants and you need their help because you are too stupid to build it. You are too stupid to have anything, and the government will control. All right, they're going to be your partner. We'll work together, meaning you're going to be the indentured slave, and the government's going to take everything. You work 20 hours a day, and guess what? They're going to take the biggest share of your business, but you don't own it anyway. You never built that. The government did. That's their theory. But anyway, you think that affordable health care is going to do you any good? Well, let me ask you this. Who deserves good health care? I think everybody deserves good health care. But do you think the veterans that defend this country and keep us secure deserve adequate, good health care? I'm asking you. I'm not telling you one way or the other. I could tell you all the bad things that happened, not only me. I've had 2 friends pass away from cancer. And I would say, President Obama, you have an ad out there, or one of your buddies that used to work for you have an ad out there about, you're saying that that guy Romney, Mitt Romney, caused some woman to die from cancer. Well, that's one, you say. That's what you say, or your, overseers say. I'm asking you, and you got all the numbers, you're supposed to be the smartest guy in the room. How many soldiers and veterans have died under the VA medical care? How many soldiers have been set up for a surgery and then canceled? How many soldiers have an ongoing heart problem that have to have a heart check once a year and been denied? How many soldiers and veterans have been denied health care? Or, you don't deny them health care, but you make them run around in circles and see 17 different clinics, and none of the clinics have anything to do with the stuff? Yeah. And then you got that cowboy from that building, I think it's Building 31, coming over there, and here's a bunch of veterans sitting there underneath the shade there, and he was talking about how the VA healthcare system, it's the cheapest medical care in the country, and on and on and on, how he saves all that money. And naturally I had to ask him a couple questions, and he was saying, well, I'm the head bean counter, I'm the guy that, does the books and all that, and I know that, and I was sitting there thinking, you're one of the overseers that are sitting here telling the poor veterans that are suffering from all sorts of ailments and things that they're getting the cheapest health care, and you're proud of it. I didn't say anything to him. I just listened, because the more he talked, the more he dug the hole. You listen to those folks out there. I'm thinking you should. I'm not telling you to, but I'm just saying you listen to them, watch their body language, and you can make up your own mind whether you want to be a sheep, or you want to be an indentured slave, or start a business and wind up having the government, well, they already do own it. I mean, cost you 50, 60 grand to get a permits and everything to start a business. And gosh, you're in debt before you. Gosh, I don't understand this country anymore. And I listen to the television set. You got Democrats and you got Republicans. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Any investments that you make, I don't know what kind of money you got. You're probably starving just like everybody else, except if you're, if you're a friend of Obama's and Biden, you're probably doing pretty good, because, and he said, we are our brother's keeper. We should help our brothers and sisters and so forth. Now, some people may say I'm a racist because of this statement that I'm going to make, but I'm going to say, Mr. Obama, Mr. Barack Obama, Mr. Barack Hussein Obama, why is your brother living in a shack in Africa with nothing and a dirt floor? And you got lots of money, because you made a lot of money since you've been president. Now, I'm not going to question how you made the money, because I don't know. But you made a lot of money. And you kind of play it down, you know, like, I know how you're playing it down. But my question is this. You want the American people to help everybody else, but you're not even willing to help your own brother. Now, I don't understand that. That really sticks in my craw, because maybe he just doesn't believe in the same things you believe in. I don't know. But he's your brother, and you're allowing him, you not even give him a couple bucks? I mean, how is that? That's your flesh and blood. You've done nothing to help him. Maybe he's just some lazy person that doesn't want to do nothing. Or maybe he's not a lazy person and he's got views that like hard work and achievement is good, and you don't like that, so you're not going to help him. You talk about everything else. You didn't build that. Somebody else did. They helped you along the way. You don't even help your brother. I'm disappointed in you, because I really thought, after watching you over the last 7 years, I really thought, well, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm mistaken. I was wrong. And I wasn't mistaken. And if anybody out there is wanting to make any investments, I would be buying beans and rice and Staples. And don't put them all in one place. Put them in different places, because I'm going to tell you, when it happens, when this country just folds up and dries up and there's nothing left, you're going to need some food. Because this government, you'll be. Oh, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I could sit here for the next 20 years telling you stories, but here's something. Now, if this movie company makes any money off of what I'm going to say, there's a couple people. Their last name is Fisher. They run this Fisher House for the veterans. You know, like if you're getting treatments and your family needs to be there close by, they give you a place to stay. I've never met them folks, but I've been up front close to some of their good deeds. And if this movie company or this corporation or whoever owns the rights to that thing is making any money on this deal, you send old Fisher, I think it's called the Fisher House Foundation or whatever it is. Maybe that's what it is. I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe I heard that. I can't remember. But if you make any money, you send some to the Fisher House and maybe some to the Wounded Warriors. That's what I'm thinking. That'd be a good thing, because those folks need a little help. Because if they're staying at the Fisher House, their loved one is not doing too good. Okay, way back when, Charlie Heston and Edward G. Robinson loved to play poker, that old boy. Brock Peters, Chucky Connors. I call him Chucky Connors because I knew him a long time ago when I was a young boy. You know, when he was doing the rifleman thing. Anyway, I met him way back when. Anyway, and I can't remember that girl's name, but she is just cuter than a little spotted puppy dog. Damn, something Taylor. Doggone, she was a cutie. Anyway, that movie's called Soylent Green. Soylent Green. Yes, sirree, Bob. You rent that movie? I don't have to tell you what it's going to be like. It's going to be worse, but you rent that movie. Go ahead, rent it. They got some. They don't rent movies anymore. They got some like video, not a video thing, but like a pop machine where you go up there and you get your video things. Those, not videos anymore. It's some little CD things. Yeah, CD. It's a little plastic disc. Anyway, Soylent Green, you rent that movie. Folks, I'm going to tell you what, you watch that and you watch it with your family. I think you'll enjoy the movie. Its cast is fantastic. And here's the thing. I was watching them Republicans down there in Florida. They're worried about that hurricane. I've been in a few hurricanes. Anyway, they had that old Clint Eastwood on there. Well, I want to make a thing here and say, hey, I did go to, I'm not going to name the school name, but it's on Hollywood Boulevard, and I can't remember the side streets there, but one day I come out of class and old Clint Eastwood was standing there, you know, on his, he was a tall son of a gun then. Anyway, I was a young boy and I walked up to him. I said, hey, Rowdy. He was so high up there, he didn't even hear me. You know what I mean? He's such a tall guy, and I was all, they thought I was going to be a dwarf until, you know, when. But anyway, so I grabbed a hold of his pants leg because I was a precocious little young man, and he kind of like shaked me off, you know. But many years I've watched his work, and they say he never forgets anybody. He probably forgot that little precocious kid, you know. Maybe not, but you know, the old yearbook with you and that MG. Yes, sir, Bob. I have a liking for them old MGs, you know. But anyway, I know a lot of folks think that before you even got finished with that speech down there in Florida, that you're an old man and you're senile and you're just, you know, well, Mr. Clint, may I say, if I had any authority, you would have my vote for an Academy Award. And I hope this praise doesn't hurt you in any way, and I hope you understand that I think, and I've watched a lot of your films and your acting, and grant you're a good actor and a director and, you know, producer and all that kind of stuff, but that performance, after the entirety, I watched it, and I sat here and cried, because I think that was the greatest performance. And I'm not cutting out anything else you've ever done. I'm thinking that was the greatest performance I've seen in a long time from anybody. Dang, that was good. And, you know, you are a sneaky little fart. But even though you're a mile high up there in the sky, you are a tall one, yep. Especially to the, you know, youngsters. But anyway, Soylent Green. You need to rent that movie. You folks that own the rights to that thing, you can afford to give a few bucks to the Fisher House and the Wounded Warriors. I've got a little pension myself, and I don't expect much. I only buy things when they're on sale if I can afford them. But golly gee whiz, here you go. There's something about affording stuff. President Obama, I'm asking you. I'm me asking questions here. You don't have to go out and rent that movie, but boy, I'll tell you what, if you do, you'll be enlightened. Here's the thing. Well, President Obama gets elected. I'm going to take care of the middle class and the poor. Well, here you go now. The poor out there, they eat potato chips and soda pop and smoke cigarettes, and Kool-Aid's went up too, you know. I used to get Kool-Aid, but nope, too expensive for me. The only way you can get chips is when they have some kind of holiday or something, they go on sale. And soda pop, it's doubled in price. Cigarettes, $8, $9, $10 a pack. Well, golly gee whiz. Now, wait a second. I heard on the Indian reservations you can get them for like, $4, $5, $6 a pack. $2 a pack or whatever. I don't know. Now, is that helping the poor? Oh, well, you don't have to worry about it, poor people, because my wife, Michelle Obama, is going to tell you what you can and can't eat. Those potato chips and the soda pop and the cigarettes and all these things that, the poor folk eat, because they haven't got no money to go no place, so they buy, maybe some ice cream or whatever to, I don't know. But no, you can't eat that. Well, that's because they don't want you to eat it. They raise the price and you can't afford it. Well, golly gee whiz, that's helping the poor folk, isn't it? Because they're too stupid to really know what to eat. Gosh. A can of vegetables used to cost 49 cents. They're over $1 now. If they're on sale. Everything that you've done has raised the price on everything for the poor folk. In the middle class, you're the one that's killing the middle class. Middle class guy wants to start a business. It costs 50, 60 grand just after he buys the ground, he's got to pay all these fees and everything like that. President Obama, I want to ask you something. Your wife goes on to Jay Leno show. I was thumbing through the thing, and happened to hit that channel. And there was this little gal on there. Dang, she had a smile about as wide as a semi-truck. Just the cutest little button you ever seen. And she's that little girl that won all them gold medals. I don't know how many she won. Anyway, your wife was sitting next to her. And I'm asking you, Mr. Obama, because I'm just curious how you think. Little Jay Leno asked that little girl, well, how'd you celebrate after you won all them medals? She goes, well, I went to Jack in the Box and I don't know what she got, whatever. And your wife reaches over and says, hey, now don't entice him to go eat like that or something like that. And I'm thinking, golly. Wait. Hey, there's this little girl sitting there, and I don't know what her fat ratio is. I used to know those kind of things. But I can tell you it's pretty close to zero body fat. And they're telling this little girl that just won 2 gold medals, not to talk about getting some goodies after winning the gold medals. You think it's going to be bad when they tell you what you can and can't eat? They're going to stop you from having salt. I don't use salt. Sugar, I don't use sugar. I had a 5-pound bag of sugar 10 years ago, and I tossed it out because it was so hard I never used it. And some folks come by here, I might have had 2 or 3 visitors, in the last few years, over the years. And I don't have no sugar for them, but, I like to be hospitable, but, Anyway, here's the thing. Beans and rice, I'm advising myself to save up money to keep a little bit of beans and rice and some staples because, golly gee whiz, it's going to get bad, folks. And I'm sad. I'm saddened that this country is little kids, maybe 10 years old or less, open a lemonade stand. Maybe to help some kid with cancer down the road or something like that. I don't know what it was. And the overseer comes up and says, you got to close this thing down and you got to get a business permit and all that. Goodness gracious. Is that what it's come to? Overseers telling a little kid they can't have a lemonade stand? Well, there have been lemonade stands ever since I was a little kid. I had a lemonade stand. The overseer come up to me and said, hey, it's going to be $150 and you better get it or we'll have to handcuff you. Maybe, I don't remember if they handcuffed them little kids or not. Is that the America you want to be, folks out there? Huh? Is that the America with the overseers telling you you can't grow vegetables in your own yard? You got to buy it from the store? Whoa, wait a second. Did I say you had to buy it from the store? Is that the company store or the government store? Is that the fruit and vegetables that come in from China and all these other foreign countries? Because we can't grow anything on our own? Because we're just too ignorant. Yeah. We're too ignorant to teach our kids how to run the business and take over and learn how to do chores and do the things that they need to know about running a business or a farm or a ranch. Because the government's going to take it over. Because we're all going to work together. That's President Obama's their theme on this thing on that TV show. Or that TV thing down there in some place in Carolina. I was watching it on a television set that, oh yeah,